Hello, my friends, and welcome to Italy, a place to love YouTube channel. The channel where I like to show the properties for sale in the Italian market. In each video, I select a property in a different town in one of the 20 beautiful regions of Italy. Okay, so let's start. In today's video, I bring you back to Abruzzo region, one of the most beautiful and wanted region, let's say, by the expats, from people who wants to relocate to Italy. So I've noticed that there's a high trend anyway on Abruzzo region, beautiful region in the center of Italy. Okay, so let's start and let me introduce you today's property. Now, so we are in Abruzzo region, Teramo province. We are in Campli Municipality in a small hamlet called Battaglia. So Battaglia is a small hamlet in Campli Municipality. So we are not very far from a bigger town like Campli, which counts more than 5,000 inhabitants. All right, so as we see by the picture, we are talking about a detached house for sale in Campli. As I said, Campli, that's the name in Italian. So it's a house on 2 floors, as we see, and the asking price is incredibly amazing. So we are talking about only 19,000 euro for this house, which is 77 square meters and 4 rooms. So this is one of the low budget properties, let's say. Interesting. So let's investigate and find out more about this property. Okay, first of all, let's go as usual on Google Maps, okay, to understand where the location of this property is. So as I said, we are in Abruzzo region. Now, Teramo province is the northern region, the northern province of Abruzzo region. So we are at the border with Marche region. So we are not far from the beautiful town of Ascoli Piceno, one of the most beautiful towns in Italy. We are also not very far from Teramo, which is the capital of the province, and at the same time, we are not very far from the sea, so it's a kind of interesting destination. So as we see, we have a kind of square that goes here from Martinsicuro, Ascoli Piceno, then we go down to Teramo, which is in this area, and through Roseto degli Abruzzi. So we are in this square here. Interesting location. Teramo is a beautiful province, all right. So as we see here is Teramo, so very, very close. So big city where we can find already all type of services and amenities. Campli is here, all right. So we are talking only about a few kilometers to Campli. Okay, let's zoom in a bit more to understand this small hamlet, which is agricultural land surrounded by beautiful nature, greenery, forest, and also mountains. So we are not very, very far from mountains, but we are not very high in altitude. Okay, let's go 3D, simply to understand a bit the area around. Okay, so let's zoom in a bit more. Here we have the beautiful hamlet of Battaglia. So we have Battaglia here and here, so a few houses around. Anyway, I'd say is maybe few hundred inhabitants, this town, this hamlet. Anyway, we'll be back later on here on Google Maps to understand the distances to the main locations around this hamlet, and also to do a bit of Google Street View to understand a bit better this hamlet. Let's go to the property. Okay, my friends, so if you have watched up to now and if you like this type of contents, please put like and subscribe. It helps my channel, it increases my visibility, and so do it if you like this type of videos. As usual, let's start reading the description. All right. Okay. Now, property description. Independent house, cielo, terra, sky, earth, means from the ground to the roof, you are the owner. That's what we say in Italian, cielo, terra, cielo. from ground to sky. 80 square meters, Campli, Hamlet, Battaglia. So we are in Campli Municipality, Campli Municipality. Panoramic, without condominium fees, because it's an independent house with 2 double bedrooms. Excellent investment, residential or holiday home. Let's say one of the 3 options that we have. Let's say residential, holiday home, or as an investment. These are always the 3 options when we want to buy a property in Italy. I might recommend as a holiday home, as residential, investment, that's up to you. For sale in Battaglia, a small hamlet, 5 minutes from Campli and 15 minutes driving from Teramo, a quiet and panoramic residential area, a charming 2-level house composed as follows. Now, let's focus. Ground floor, we have entrance to living dining room with thermal fireplace, kitchenette, and service bathroom with shower. Now, very important here to say that there is thermal fireplace, which I really like it. So basically, with the fireplace, you're able to heat the hot water and provide heating to all the house via radiators. So we have living dining room, open space, kitchenette, and then bathroom with shower on the ground floor. On the first floor, we have an internal staircase leads to a hallway for 2 double bedrooms, one with a balcony and a bathroom. Now, this house has 2 bathrooms, one on the ground floor and one on the second floor, which is kind of amazing. Then, considering that I'm only searching for properties which are already in a good condition, so we are talking about technically a property that with 19,000 euros plus fees, technically is ready to be lived. So the house is immediately free and available. Good state of preservation. As I said, the property is in a good condition. The apartment has ceramic flooring, single glazed aluminum frames, okay, single glazed windows that could be, let's say, maybe to be upgraded, independent heating with radiators and an aluminum entrance door. For further real estate proposals, consult the website. We are also present on Facebook. Now, here there's a lot of advertising. Anyway, if you're interested anyway to read all the description of the property, do you want to buy or sell a house by the sea in this area? Let's do a bit of advertising. You might contact this agent, and anyway, they might help you to find a property in this area. What else I want to check? Anyway, I will share the link of this property under the description of the video. Now let's check and let's investigate, as usual, the price per square meter. Okay, first of all, we are talking about 77 square meter, which is around maybe 900 square feet, probably a tiny bit less than 900 square feet. And the price per square meter is 247 euro per square meter, which is something, anyway, for a house that is not in need of renovation. Obviously, we're not talking about a very big property, but under 300,000 euro is a very good deal. 300 euro per square meter is a very good deal. Okay, let's go finally to the pictures. All right. So let's go full screen to understand a bit better the property here. Now, the agency is called Percorso Casa. If someone is interested, anyway, can contact. Now, generally, when I look the property from outside, from the exterior part, I always judge by the, let's say, how solid is the property and the building itself. I always try to understand, anyway, that the property is not in need of a massive renovation, or it might have big structural problems like roofs, for example. Now, in this case, I judge that the roof is in a good condition. Obviously, from here we cannot see very well, but I'd say also because the house is only on 2 floors. Anyway, I'm saying that in this case, and the house is not extremely big, even if we have to repair or to maintain the roof, is not a big expense, let's say. But anyway, the roof, by what I see here, generally, even by this part underneath the roof, I can already judge by the gutters and see if the roof is damaged or not. Um, then, okay, let's have a look overall at the property. The building itself doesn't look like has big structural problems. We have a main entrance door. We have beautiful view around the valley. We are not completely isolated, so we are in the hamlet. So we are surrounded by other houses. We have a lovely balcony, all right, which is on the front side of the house. Now, it's a semi-detached house. The house is free on three sides. One side here, second side here with the two windows, and the rear side of the house. Again, then, anyway, I see a window open here on the ground floor, a window closed. Here we have the balcony. So probably one room has double exposure with window and balcony. Then it seems like there is an attic, but it's not uh, as a livable space, but it's only as a storage unit, as a storage place. Which anyway, it's always good to have extra storage place. Okay, let's go inside the house. All right, so basically here we have the main entrance door. All right, and then we see the window on the left, which is just beside the entrance. The picture is taken anyway from the open space in this area, which it looks more like a living area, while the first area, let's say, is just a welcoming area, maybe also dining space with the fireplace, probably. Then on the right, we see a piece of furniture. The floor tiles are in a very good condition. Okay, looks like uh, the floor tiles were upgraded not long time ago. I have to say maximum 15, 20 years ago, which is not a long time. Then obviously don't be fooled by the old furniture, old sofa. Try to imagine the space anyway without any sort of furniture here. Important anyway to say that the floor tiles here are in a good condition. Also, I don't see problems with humidity or mold. I don't see structural problems. Anyway, I see a quite big living space. Okay, which here we have from the other point of view, from the main entrance door point of view, with a table here just beside the fireplace. Okay, this is just a little table. I'm not a fan of this piece of furniture. I would arrange anyway the space in a different way, personally. Then we have the fireplace, which is called anyway wood thermal fireplace. Again, as I said, that provides hot water and gives hot water to the radiators. Then important to say also that the pictures are taken with the lights off. So that means that the property anyway is bright by itself. So we have natural light inside the house. That's one of the things that I consider always very important. One of the most important things that I consider when I'm looking at properties, that the properties are not too dark, let's say, or they have kind of bright, they are bright enough. Okay. Okay, here we are in the living space. We are at the end of the big open space. Then beside the television here, I guess there is the window on the ground floor, so which it gives more light from another side of the house. Obviously here I see this old sofa which obviously doesn't make the house very interesting, this piece of furniture, but obviously this is just old furniture. Okay, let's keep moving. All right. Okay, now from here we understand. Anyway, here we are in the living area, the entrance door, the welcoming space, let's say. And here from on the left, just beside the switch, we on the right of the switch, we see the kitchenette. So we have, probably is not an eating kitchen, okay, but anyway, has a separate kitchenette, and also electrical system is in a good condition. All right, so we are not talking about an old electrical system that needs to be upgraded. So the house, for in my opinion, the house is ready to live. Obviously it can always be upgraded. These panels here on the walls, I'm not really a fan of this, but anyway. Okay, then here we are on the first floor. First floor, where we see the main bedroom, let's say one of the two double bedrooms. It says that there are two double bedrooms. Obviously, here they took the picture of a massive, massive wardrobe, which I will straight away get rid of this massive wardrobe, taking a lot of space of this property, simply a lot of space. The room doesn't look very small, so we have space for double bed plus big pieces of furniture. Okay, now by this picture, I guess anyway, the room doesn't have a rectangular shape. Doesn't look like it has a rectangular shape, unless anyway we don't know the shape of the wardrobe. But I think the wardrobe just follow the wall. Okay, so anyway, here is the bedroom, and overall, I see a space, a room which is not in need of big upgrades. The floor tiles are older here on the first floor than the one on on the ground. As I said, the one on the ground were renovated maybe 15, 20 years ago. These tiles are the typical tiles of the 60s, early 70s. But if they are in a good condition, I don't see the need of renovation. Okay, let's go back 1 second here to understand if we are in the same bedroom. Okay, no, here we are in a separate bedroom. This is another one, the second bedroom. As we see, there is the radiator. So the other rooms, I guess the ground floor is not in need of radiator simply because you have the fireplace. Because anyway, to have the hot radiators, you need to heat the fireplace. All right. Then, but I think there is also a gas heating system, if I'm not wrong. I will see. I will tell you later on, but I guess there is. So you may switch from a gas heating system to a thermal fireplace. Anyway, here we have the radiator. Here we have the balcony. Okay. The balcony door, the frames here don't look very old. Okay. So I'd say they were upgraded probably 20 years ago. Aluminium one. All right. Maybe more than 15. Let's say 20, 25 years ago. They upgraded the balcony frames, while the radiators, I think the heating system was only upgraded less than 20 years ago. I see the new radiators. Thermal fireplace is something that people are switching now in Italy in the last 10, 15 years. So they decided to go for this reason. Maybe they have access. Anyway, wood, you may have access to wood in this area, which could be cheaper anyway than heating by gas. Then the house is not very big. It's not in need of really big, massive heating system, even with a gas boiler. Okay, now here we have one bathroom. This is a small bathroom. We are on the ground floor. I don't see any window. I see the fan here. But also about this bathroom, I can say that was renovated not long time ago. We are talking about here maximum 10, 15 years ago. And anyway, if we consider for the price they're selling the house for 19,000 euro, okay, not very big bathroom, but as I said, the property has two bathrooms, one on the ground floor and one on the first floor. Here I can tell you that the bathroom is quite new simply because they have already the flushing system of the toilet is already the box for the water is already inside the walls. Okay, so basically a bathroom that was renovated 10, 15 years ago. Then not very big bathroom, so not really expensive even to renovate. And here we are in the second bathroom. Now, also this one a bit small, okay, but again, consider that is only 19,000 euro, but we have a window. So I guess here we are on the first floor. Then we have bidet here on a different level, on a higher level than toilet. Then we have the sink. One of the two bathrooms, it says that has the shower, the one on the ground floor, but they're not showing the picture here. This bathroom is older, as we see, but overall, I don't see a bathroom in a very bad condition. So here they have the typical flush that they used to use back to 40 years ago. But again, even if it's in need of renovation, I'd say because it's a small bathroom, it won't cost a lot to renovate. Now, here we have the view from the house. Probably this is the view from the first floor on the beautiful Abruzzo hills and valleys. These are probably the mountains around with a lot of forest. So I'd say in this area, wood is very cheap if you want to heat your house. Again, as I told you, I know many people living here in the south of Italy that go for this option to avoid electrical heating or gas heating. They go with wooden thermal fireplace. Okay, these are all the pictures. Now, it's a pity there are not many pictures, okay, for this property. Then what I can tell you here that, as I said, there is the gas boiler here. Probably is an old one, so probably is in need of, it needs to be replaced, the gas boiler, okay, but there is the alternative to heat with the wooden fireplace, which is very important. And then, anyway, we have parking not far from the house. I think we can just park beside the house. No problem to reach the house by car. All right, okay. Anyway, it looks like an interesting property. I'm trying now to have a look. Pity they didn't post many pictures because it would have been nice to have a look to more. Anyway, few more pictures of the bathroom, a picture of the kitchenette, which is missing. Anyway, if someone is interested, can contact the seller, can contact the agency and ask for more details, for more pictures. Then, even if you call the agency and you ask for more pictures or for a video, obviously this is free of charge, simply because as a buyer, you have the right, if, in particular, if you are abroad, to have an idea about what the property is before we might even be interested to buy. That's the duty of the agency. Anyway, 19,000 euro, very small budget. Anyway, I read the description. I want to go quick look shortly to the basic features that I didn't read before. Four rooms, two bathrooms, balcony, good condition, built in 1930, natural gas. So they have gas heating system. You can switch from gas. So, but if in need of a new gas boiler, I would go for a new gas boiler anyway. Once, I'd say every 15, 20 years, and now the new generation gas boiler are much more efficient than the old one, which helps you to consume less. Okay, my friends, so let's go back here to Google Maps and let's start investigating how far we are from the nearest important location. and destination. Let's start with Campli, which is the town which Battaglia refers as municipality. So basically, let's go 3D, let's see. Okay, so basically we have the town of Campli here, which I said it is around 5,000 inhabitants. It says that it takes 10 minutes to drive from the Hamlet, Battaglia Hamlet, to Campli, which is a very short distance. We might have even some small shops in Battaglia. We will check later on at the end when we go to Google Street View. But as I see, we have another hamlet, which it looks bigger than Battaglia, which is called La Traversa. Let's see how far we are from La Traversa, probably 5 minutes, 7 minutes driving, okay, even less. So in 5 minutes, anyway, we are already in a town where you have bars, restaurants. I guess anyway, there is bar and restaurant even in Battaglia. Okay, now let's focus because we are in Teramo province. Let's focus how far we are from Teramo. Now, in the advertising, it said 15 minutes. They were right. So it takes 16 minutes to reach the capital of the province, which is a very, very short distance. In Teramo, there is already railway, buses, so you have all type of services that you might need. Anyway, Teramo, there is hospital. So Teramo is a big town. Anyway, interesting, very short distance to Teramo, only 15 minutes, which is very, very short. For me, under 20, 25 in the south of Italy, I consider very short distance. Forget about traffic in this area. You will never, unless you are driving a bit in the town, but once you're out from the town, forget about traffic. This is one of the reasons I'm very happy that I've relocated to the south of Italy. Okay, and now, okay, let's focus Ascoli Piceno, the town that is already in Marche region, one of the most beautiful towns, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful Italian towns. 41 minutes to reach, and we are already in Marche region. Anyway, I love Ascoli Piceno and I love Marche region. Hopefully, I will be able to visit soon. I'm planning to visit at the end of May. At the end of May, I'm planning to visit this region. All right, Casa Doris. I want to visit the B&B of one of my subscribers. And then also, if I have the chance to meet other subscribers, once I go in this area, maybe we could meet all in this beautiful B&B owned by my dear friend Doris, subscribed to my channel. All right, so by the end of May, hopefully, let's see. Okay, let's focus on the seaside destination. Now we have Giulianova, which it looks one of the nearest, Tortoreto Lido, Alba Adriatica, Martinsicuro. I'd say the nearest seaside destination is Giulianova, which is another lovely town. Giulianova. Okay, New Julie. New Julie. All right, 44 minutes driving to the sea. So I consider under 45 minutes. So possibility to go up and down in a day. So to go in the morning, spend all day on the sea and come back in the evening with a short distance. Considering that it takes 15, 20 minutes to reach Teramo, let's say 15 minutes. So from Teramo is just 30 minutes to reach the seaside. And then if we go southern direction, we have other cities, of course, like Pescara. But once you are close to one big town like Teramo or Ascoli Piceno, you might not really need to go. But Pescara, I guess, is 1 hour and a half driving. Let's see. Pescara, 1 hour and 13 minutes. Let's see how far we are from Rome, because the nearest biggest international airport is in Rome. Let's see how long it takes. 2 hours and 17 minutes. For me, it's a short distance, let's say. If I think that I'm landing in Rome, then from Teramo you have daily buses going to Rome. So you can go to Teramo, take a bus in the morning, spend all day in Rome, take a bus in the evening, back to Teramo. The same that I do when I go to Naples, for example. I drive 20, 25 minutes, I park the car, take the bus, 2 hours I'm in Naples, spend all the day in Naples, coming back. Anyway, Naples is another, I have to go quite soon, hopefully in the next month, in March. I'll be able to visit Naples. I have a dear friend. Okay, all right, my friends. So this is it. This is everything about the location, the nearest location. Let's zoom in and let's do a bit of Google Street View to understand a bit better. Okay, I messed up a bit. Let's go here. So this is Battaglia. Now we have birrificio. We have a craft maker, a beer craft maker here. Birrificio Agricolo Ramoni. So if you are a beer lover, you will always have your bottle of beer ready to get. Okay, let's go from Birrificio and then we just drive into the town. Okay, so these are the beautiful hills. So it's not a mountain area. Mountains are not far, but we are surrounded by beautiful hills and forests. Okay, here we are still in the outskirts of the Hamlet, Battaglia Hamlet. Probably they can make very good beer here due to the water. They might have springs, and because water is what makes the difference to go good quality beer. We have a beautiful stone house on the left here, which probably is not sold. It's not for sale and is not sold for 19,000 euro. So let's keep driving a bit more. Maybe we are lucky and we are able to find the property for sale. It looks like a beautiful green village. I like. 19,000 euro, still too good to be true, let's say. Okay, let's keep going down. Maybe we are lucky that we are able to spot the property for sale. Let's see. Here we have the houses around. All right. Okay. Let's see the houses around. Looks like this yellowish. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe not. Okay, from here we cannot see. Anyway, we have, as usual, typical church of these old towns, of these small hamlets. Okay, just to understand, here we have the main church of the town, surrounded by hills, mountain, forest. Let's have a look a bit more. Okay, we have lovely terraces there. This is a parking square. I keep going through the main road simply to understand. Oh, my favorite car, Fiat Panda, the old Fiat Panda, which you can find nearly everywhere in the south of Italy. With this car, you can simply drive everywhere. Okay, here, anyway, up to now, I don't see the property for sale. Let's go one more minute, hanging around. Interesting houses. Some houses not in a very good condition. Okay. Let's try to go through this road, the last attempt, to see if we find the property. I think we found it. Here it is. I know some of you are happy when I find the property for sale, which the seller doesn't disclose the location. Wow, beautiful area. Oh, they're also selling the garage. This garage is for sale here. Anyway, this is the house. I like this house. Let's see. Oh, there's another house for sale here. Interesting. So it will be interesting to organize a trip around this town because it looks like a lovely hamlet with so many houses for so many, few, let's say. I'm wondering, one second, I want to go up. So here we have the road. Let's see these other. Okay, we cannot go further. It doesn't allow me to go further. Okay, my friends, this is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed this property for sale here for 19,000 euro here in this small hamlet called Battaglia. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed the video and I'll see you here on Italy, a Place to Love YouTube channel tomorrow for a property for sale in Tuscany, in Lucca Province, because this week I'm covering on Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday the properties for sale, the inexpensive properties for sale in Lucca Province. Bye.